Now I just gotta find torn, and that itself might take a while. I mean, let me just say, now, I'm not gonna use a skip in this game, because there's actually a skip called Mars 2 skip, and you can literally do it at the beginning of the game. I think you can literally get up there, and then get out of bounds, and then literally do some more outbound stuff, and then literally skip half of the game. But I won't be doing that. No. I mean, I may have skipped a few things in Bash for Bikini Bottom, but it wasn't that bad. Hey look, a free one! Yeah, I'm stealing things! I can see why this game is 12 rated, because you steal cars from people! This is basically Grand Theft Auto. It's basically Jack if it was Grand Theft Auto. And the music when the guards spot you, man, that is an epic song. It's even cooler when you hijack their vehicles. You get a shoot in them. Ow. I don't know why, but when I was playing this, when I didn't know that much about this, when I was younger, I literally couldn't find anything because I was stupid.
Sabéis que equivocarse de bando puede ser poco saludable.
Queremos ver a la sombra.
De eso nada. Si quieres participar en algo, coge a ese bicho y trabaja en un circo. A menos que tengas agallas para una misión difícil. Roba el estandarte del varón que hay encima de la torre en ruinas y tráemelo. Entonces hablaremos.
Okay, that was a bit mean. I was just gonna find a vehicle. Wonder how many people have actually beaten this game 100%. No, really, I want to know. I really want to know. Because since this game, because people call this game really hard, so I really want to know how many people have actually beaten this game 100%. Any percent, I'm sure that's not too bad. Now I'm going to stand on top of your thingy. Oh, I wanted to get in this thingy. But that sucks. Anyway, back to languages. They can be evil. Here's one thing that's evil about languages. False friends. Now, in case you don't know what false friend is in languages, I'm no linguist or anything, but I know that false friend is basically a word that there's one word in two languages which looks like the same word, and it might be spelt the same, but the thing is, it means, I mean, in the two languages, it means a completely different thing. And I mean completely different. I mean, I can give you examples and all, but I'm sure they exist in like every language compared to every language or every other language. I mean, seriously, I don't know if it's every language compared to every other language. It's got to be a lot of languages compared to other languages. I mean, Japanese examples are like the ones that come up in my head, are like the ones that are mostly in my head. Because they are nice and easy ones for me, even though I'm no Japanese expert. For example, let's take T-O. In English, we know that means two. And that's how we'd say it. Basically, we know it means multiple things. And I'm just talking about regular T-O. Regular T-O means... It's basically a word that you put before another word to make an infinitive, and it's also a word to describe going to places. But in Japanese alone, it simply means and. Yeah, maybe. Okay, in Japanese it's pronounced to, but it's still practically spelled TR, even with those Japanese symbols. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that also has loads of other meanings, because it's used in many strange ways from what I've seen. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it has multiple meanings, but "and" is the only one that I know. And there's also "no." In English, we know that it's a negative word. It's saying, that's illegal! That is absolutely illegal! But in Japanese, it basically means of. So, yeah. So those are examples of false friends, but they don't always... But that's not just comparing Japanese to English. It also exists if you compare it to, like, some other languages. I guess I'll give you one example. I think that Japanese people kinda like naming some characters after Italian words for some reason. That's not me being offensive, but I think that Japanese people kinda like the Italian language. This is kind of going off to the topic of false friends, but I'm just gonna give you some examples. Now, in Japan, the Mega Man character base is called Forte, and in Italian, that means strong. Here's another example. In Dragon Ball, there's the evil alien known as Piccolo, and in Italian, Piccolo means small or little. So, that's interesting. But here's another interesting one. In Italian, there's a word known as sono, which means I am, but it also exists in Japanese, and it does not mean I am. That would be either watashi wa or boku wa, and there might be more ways, but I'm not aware of any other ways. No, in Japanese, I think it might mean something like there is, but I'm not fully sure. I'm not a Japanese expert. Okay? And there are even some words compared to others which are similar. And Portuguese is just evil. Let me just say that. I'm no expert with Portuguese, but it's kinda evil. Let me just say that. Yeah! Power Cell music from the first game. Now seriously, please play the Japanese version of the first game. Because in Japanese, whenever you collect a Power Cell, Jak and Daxter make stupid comments. That is so hilarious. Luckily, if you own the PAL PS2 version or the PAL Black Label PS2 version, it does contain the Japanese language, so you can just do that. But it's not in the HD versions of the game, and I don't know if it's in the Platinum version of the game, so yeah. I don't think it will be in the North American version. And Wikipedia clearly states that this is the only Jak game that contains both the Japanese and Korean languages on the disc. I don't know if that is fully true, but for Japanese, I know that's false, most definitely. Because at least in the PAL Black Label version of the first game on the PS2, that does contain the Japanese language. I know because I own it. And I did not hack the game to activate that. Yeah, this is mine! And everyone will die because I've got goons! Die, 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 die! Oh, come on, I'm going the wrong way. I mean, the boss tomb skip, you can literally do right after you save core. And basically, you can skip like half the game with it. And I've got to say, that's actually pretty cool. That doesn't skip that big in this game. But anyway, I was talking about Portuguese being evil. Yeah. I mean, Portuguese is seen as a similar language to Spanish, but as we all know, but as we hopefully might know, that's not entirely true. I'm not an expert on either of these languages, but I can tell that there are definitely a lot of differences, even with minor words. For example, thank you. Now this is where this is one way that the Portuguese people are actually evil. Oh, I'm going the wrong way! I really need to pay more attention to this radar. But anyway, anyone who even has the slightest knowledge of Spanish should hopefully know that thank you is gracias. But guess what? In Portuguese, what do you think it'll be? Something similar? Nope. It's, according to my knowledge, it's obrigado. Please pronounce, and please don't feel angry if I pronounce that completely wrong. What the beep was that beep? I got out of the vehicle, and then I died. What the beeping beep? I've never experienced that before. That's just weird. And the Portuguese word for thank you, obrigado, is actually closer to the Japanese word for thank you, arigato, than the Spanish word. That's sad, considering it's supposed to be similar. And it's also sad that some things that also... and another thing that's sad is that some things in like French and Italian are actually closer to Spanish than Portuguese. And that's just sad. For example, if you're describing someone, in both French and Spanish, you say de, or de in Spanish, I guess, de. But in Portuguese, nope. It might be something like do. False friend. I don't know. But I definitely don't think it's DE. And that just makes Portuguese evil. And also these subtitles are here so that in case you want to know what the story is, you can just read the story if I'm talking over everything. Now, since my vehicle's not here because I died getting out of it somehow, I have to use this one, but it's got guns, so that's awesome. It's practically impossible to fly around this place without hitting someone. Oh, and I'm going the wrong way! Beep! And Spanish can also be evil with false friends. I don't have too many examples in my head right now. I'm trying to think of one right now. But Spanish does have its fair share of false friends with English, which is just evil, to say the least. I can't quite think of one right now, but I know that they exist. Trust me. I just can't give you any solid examples right now. I just apologise, okay? I really need to think. I just can't think of any right now, I'm sorry. Hey look, the speed swimming also works in Jak 2. Where you just mash up on the analog stick and you swim faster both in Jak 1 and Jak 2. I'm guessing that it works in Jak 3 as well. But, I don't know. I might have to test on Jak 3. I've not played... Jak 3 is the only game that I haven't played the original PS2 version for. I've only played the HD version. But that's all I have to say. And for playing the HD version, I never actually experienced that Jak going right glitch. Or maybe I did, but I don't remember coming across it. And that was on the PS3. I've also played the PS Vita version of the first game, and that version just sucks. I'm sure that Vita can handle more than a PS2. Well, I know that has better graphical capabilities, for sure. But I don't know about space, but it should be able to contain more. I've heard that a 3DS game holds at least 7 times the amount of data as a GameCube game, which must be around 10 gigabytes in a 3DS. So that is actually more than a DVD, which is what PS2 games are made on, or were made on. And I know it's the 3DS, but the Vita's supposed to be more powerful than the 3DS. Does the Vita hold the same amount of space as a 3DS game, or not? I want to know. Because it would be stupid if a PS Vita game held less data than a 3DS game, considering it's supposed to be more powerful hardware. That would just be dumb. You're not supposed to get over there yet, but you can. And I just want to do it because I want to show you that it works. It may not be useful for the mission that you have to perform, but it still exists. And I've done it before. And they don't use it in speedruns because Mars Tomb skip. That's all I'm saying. I mean, why wouldn't you use a skip which skips half of the game? Unless it's 100%, but who would do a 100% run on this game anyway? I want to know if there are any 100% runs on this game. On the first game, you literally have no idea what you can and can't stand on. Okay, it's not as bad as in Battle of Bikini Bottom, which is literally a game where you literally don't know if you can stand on something or not. I mean, seriously, half of the things which you'd imagine that you could never stand on, you can stand on, and for the opposite, it works the same, basically. You can stand here. You might actually be able... I don't know if you can actually climb up high enough to do any really good tricks, which will help with speedrunning. I mean, Mars Tomb skip may be good enough for speedrunning anyway, but still. This thing has a pretty big invisible wall. Although you can stand on that little bit. Remember, my Let's Plays don't necessarily follow the rules. I may perform a lot of glitches, and I may do some weird things. You know, I'm just gonna let the skip go for now. And I just made a Let It Go reference, didn't I? OB. I just realised I didn't find any precursor orbs in the previous area. Are there even any in the previous area? I'm guessing there are, but I didn't find any. But I'm not really going for the precursor orbs. This is any percent. I think, considering how hard this game supposedly gets, any percent will be good enough for me. Plus, since it's literally impossible to go back for anything in the final level after you beat it, I think it's safer if I just, you know, stay here. I think you're supposed to hire those platforms. But anyway, you can use the left analog stick as in touching the stick to show your stats. I just prefer when it was pressing an actual button Select makes you do a generic pause. Did I say select? I hope so. And pressing the right analog stick lets you go in this targeting mode, which you could do in the first game, but I don't remember if you needed to use the right analog stick. Considering I didn't play the game that long ago, was in the first game, that's kind of embarrassing. Basically, these core thingies shoot out these things. I can't remember what they're called. Oh yeah, Star Eco. Wait, is this that's Star Eco? What are the cell thingies called? I don't remember, guys. I'm sorry. I apologise heavily. And I still can't think of an example of a word or Spanish word which looks the same as English word, but it's not, making a false friend. I just can't think of any of them right now. Unless you count their usage of the letter Y as a false friend. But I don't know. Fabula. Please tell me they're gonna remember that. Must hold terrible things inside. Hey, that's the first time I've actually heard please in Spanish. So that's interesting. Okay. I pulled the valve. People still want Valve to make Half-Life 3. Languages can be evil sometimes. Some languages don't even use the simpleness of something like such as the alphabet. I know that they may not have grown up with the alphabet, but still, don't they think that they should use that some languages, some people don't use regular letters? Find something a little bit more simple to write all of their words with. I mean, Japanese are like over 9,000 characters-ish. That's a lot, in case you don't know. Ah, back here again. I'm gonna try and do this glitch. I'm trying to use this method. And I don't know if it's the best method that you can use. I like the glitches where you can get behind something and then use that behind for an advantage. So you push yourself into a wall and then it pushes you onto an invisible block. I like those types of glitches for platforms. I really do. I don't want to give up. I really don't. I know that's possible. Wait. Did I... Wait, you can actually stand on that. Unfortunately, it's not quite high enough to reach up there. That, however, is... Haha, I told you I could get up here.
Volvamos al escondite de la resistencia.
Sorry, I'm just going to explore more of the level that I'm not supposed to explore yet. Because why not? And here's a little thing about, you know, Italian. Now, it may seem similar to Spanish at first, but trust me, in Italian, there are many things which are quite different to Spanish. I mean, some things in Italian are actually might be closer to French than they are in Spanish. I could give you an example, but wait. I might be able to come up with one, even if it's not the best example. Okay, there's one that I have in my mind right now, and that's the word for dog. Okay, in French, the word is chien, and that's with a C, by the way. In Spanish, I believe it's perro, with 2 R's. And in Italian, it's cane, with a C. The only way I mean, cane may not be the same as chien, but you must admit that it's at the very least closer to chien than perro. Perro. Whatever. I don't care. But I'm just exploring places that I shouldn't be exploring yet. Oh, I can't get... Yes, I can, actually. There's a mission later on in the game where you're supposed to go here, but that's not yet. Plus, you get red gun ammo, even though you don't have the red gun yet. Why? That seems so weird. You don't even have the weapon yet. So why is the game giving you ammo? Haha, speaking of false friends. That word, ammo. As we may know, in Italian, I'm also guessing Spanish, there's the word amor, which means I love. In a romantic way, but it still means I love. And guess what? In English, it means stuff for a weapon. Not love, stuff for a weapon. And considering how different those 2 words are, that's a huge change. So, that's interesting. I also get some Portuguese pipe, but considering what thank you is in Portuguese, maybe I shouldn't think that far. But some things in Italian, yes, they are pretty close to Spanish, but sometimes they are completely different to both French and Spanish. That's when the French and Spanish words are similar, from what I guess. First off, in Italian, there are 5 letters of the alphabet that practically do not exist in Italian, except in words that are taken from English. And those letters are J, K, W, X, and Y. So... that's one big difference, considering that J is used quite a lot in Spanish. Even if it sounds like a H into practice. And that's supposed to be the Oracle, by the way. He looks so weird. And another thing is that Italians do not use ES in words for whatever reason. So that's another big difference. Another thing that seems like a big difference to me is that their pronunciation for C is basically like chi. Well, I don't know what it is in Spanish, but I know it's not chi. And that just completely changes the pronunciation of so many words beginning with C. Kinda like the J in Spanish. Basically, he wants me to give him 25 of... I wasn't paying attention, so I still don't know what they're called. Oh, come on. Looks like next time I'll have to be adventuring back. Actually, I'm adventuring back now, but I won't do the mission until the next part. That's all I'm saying. But as for things that are completely different in Italian compared to both French and Spanish, I think I came up with one example. I think. And by the way, wait, I already mentioned that bit. Here's the one example I have in my head. So, let me just say it. Forgot it again. Oh yes. In both French and Spanish, Germany is like this weird word, which is different in both languages, but all I know is that it starts with an A and there's an M somewhere in it as well. But in Italian there are two completely different words. I mean, I believe that the word for Germany is Jamaya and the word for language is Tedesco. Okay. That's a bit weird. But whatever. And by the way, whenever there's like a J in like French and Spanish, in Italian they either change the word or turn it into a G and an I. Which, in some cases, makes the word seem more similar to what it is in English. Here's an example. For garden. I mean, in both French and Spanish, it's jardin. Okay, that's the French pronunciation. I'm guessing the Spanish pronunciation is jardin or something like that. And it's got an accent on the I. But, whatever. But in Italian, it's giardino. With a G and an I. Can you see that it seems more similar to English than French and Spanish? Hopefully. If you want me to talk more about languages in a future part, then I will. But for now, that's the end of this part. And languages will get to a pause for now.